What is going on, Lucid fans? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So happy earnings day, everyone. Definitely it's going to be a lot of good things as said in this upcoming earnings, so make sure you guys stay tuned for that. I do want to talk on two positive things that just came out and what they mean for Lucid and its investors. So I'm going to go over all the stuff you need to know. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And without further ado, let's get right to it. So the first thing I do want to bring up is this. So the European Union votes in favor of 2035 ban on new petrol and diesel car sales. So of course, that is absolutely huge. A lot of other places such as, for instance, California, Canada in general as well, and some other places around the world have all set deadlines for either banning or potentially a certain percentage of sales to be EVs. So of course a lot of governments and countries are moving towards a little bit more of a cleaner economy, and it does look like the EU does have a target of 2050, which is for climate neutrality. So in general, I think that's a very, very good thing. And why I actually care about this is because of the demand. So this is basically the overall sales that have occurred and the future expectations and the forecasts. So as you can see, there's been huge growth 2019 to 2020 to 2021, 2022, and then all the way to 2027. And this is just Europe alone. So in general, this is massive. And as I've said in the past, this is why I'm very much excited about Lucid heading and really having a big footprint in Europe, is just because of the massive amount of demand. And because of this recently passing, that is just going to escalate that so much more. So once again, let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below. And as well, this was floating around. It is in French, but generally speaking, I'll just translate that. But it does look like a Lucid test car is in France, even though they have had no deliveries as of yet in France, as far as I'm aware. But they're testing out in there. So in general, I think that might be a good thing coming forward, or at least happening in the coming time period. But it does say while its arrival in France is not expected for several months, a test copy of the Lucid Air, the electric Air sedan with the best range on the market, was seen leaving the European Parliament in Strasbourg. So clearly, like I said, I think just the demand and excitement for EVs is very much there. So this news that did come out is just amazing stuff. And when it comes to the second point I want to bring up, it's probably not the most exciting stuff for a lot of investors, but surprisingly enough, it was a very big deal. So for those of you that do know that there was a 8K form submitted today, and it brings up about the tentative vote that did occur on July 23rd, 2021. I brought this up a couple times on my channel, but clearly I think a lot of people don't really care about this stuff per se. But back then there was a vote to raise the number of Class A common outstanding shares. And of course, what did happen is Lucid accidentally counted Class B shareholders in that vote. Of course, that isn't allowed. So thus, in general, just kind of disqualifying that whole vote. And keep in mind, during cciv, that would really just damper absolutely every issuance that's ever happened since then. So in general, this was a very, very big deal. So they were heading to court, and it does look like it did occur on February the 20th, 2023. And luckily enough, the court did approve the company's request for relief. So once again, for those of you that haven't heard about this, then nothing changes in general. But for instance, if this was to have been denied, then yes, everyone and their dog would be on edge right now. Lucid probably would be going down very, just plummeting, because of course that would hinder absolutely every single issuance that they have done. So in general, the fact that this is approved is a very, very good thing. And like I said, today is earnings day. These are all locked in as far as the questions being posed to management. Typically, they only ask the top 3, with the exception of the last couple. They ask around 5 or so, whatever they see fit. But the top 3 questions, I just want to go over them. Is the Saudi PIF taking Lucid private? We will officially know today. So that is a very, very positive thing. There are about 2 parking lots full of Lucid Airs at the southern end of the factory. Are these vehicles pending deliveries to Saudi Arabia, Europe, or overseas? Or potentially are they cancellations? So I think in general, that's also another very good question that a lot of investors really need to know about. when do reservations open for the Gravity SUV? And it does look like someone did spill the beans potentially at a studio, and they did say it's going to be starting in 2 weeks. So maybe that might be their answer when it comes down to that. Some other questions as well. Do you still expect to have positive free cash flow in 2025? This was planned to be approximately $321 million in 2025. Is this still achievable? I really like this question. I've been bringing this up, but whether they have the ability to answer that, I'm not sure. But still, I think if they do, this would be a very good answer to know going forward. And then, of course, I don't think they'll answer this one because this is a little bit more of a duplication. And is Lucid going to be teaming up with Apple? So I think in general, that might be another very good question to ask. And hopefully, if this is a yes, and this one is a no, then imagine what that is going to happen to the stock price. It's going to easily go up like 200, 300, 400%. It'd be absolutely just mind-blowing. People would just FOMO crazy in. But once again, those are the top questions that most likely will be asked. Of course, they might kind of extend it further. I think in general, they do want to continue the hype, so they might ask this question as well. So does Lucid have the intention to launch a cheaper, around $50,000 vehicle? And if so, where would it be manufactured? So I think in general, that's been really brought up over the last couple of earnings in general on its own accord. So I don't know if they needed a question to be asked, but still, it is what it is. Let me know your thoughts on all of this in the comments below, and as well your expectations. Do you think generally that the stock price is going to go up, down, sideways, where it's going to go based on this earnings? It's going to be a little bit more of a Russian roulette in reality, but still fun times ahead. Let me know your thoughts on all of this. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. If you do like my Lucid content and want to support the channel, take a look at my memberships, link in the description below, or just hit the join button at the bottom of the screen. And one final thing I do want to share with you, there is a massive promo only until February the 28th. By just opening up an account with Moomoo, you get 1 free stock. Each stock is valued up to $2,000. So just by doing that, it's kind of a no-brainer. Link in the description below, or else I'll put it in the comments as well. Just click on the link, open up an account. It's free to do, like I said. It's kind of a no-brainer. And if you do want to throw $100 down at this account as well, you do get additional 4 free stocks, each valued up to $2,000. So make sure you guys take advantage of this. Only roughly about 6 days left. But without further ado, I appreciate you guys watching. Let's all make a lot of money on Lucid.